You have using up there for the Parks Department storing supplies, et cetera, whatever, to do that somewhere else to make this park larger?
Yeah, Parks doesn't let property go very easily. So that's a discussion that I wouldn't be at liberty to say that that's on the table.
Or could it be on the table?
I'm not gonna, I can't answer that question.
Maybe we'll have to write that as a part of our thing to put on the table.
Yeah.
And have you established a baseline of ecological data through bird counts, amphibian counts, etc.?
Yeah, so that we're looking at those baseline as part of this evaluation, this detailed environmental evaluation. The wildlife is one of those things that we're developing a baseline for.
Are you doing that in January? Because there's more birds in the summer.
Yeah, we're using counts that have been done on the site, evaluations that have been done on the site during that time period, and this environmental consultant is referring to that reference material. So we can't, do a bird count obviously in January. We know that, but we're looking. I think one of the things that's important is that we're looking more at habitat rather than numbers of birds, because they do move in and out of the site. We're looking at habitat value, and that's one of the things that we're considering.
So, I mean, this is not the first urban forested park mountain bike in the country. So there's a lot, several that seem to be coming up. I have not visited them myself. So I'm just curious, have you guys reached out to any of the other cities? Like Redmond has one, Tacoma has one, Forest Park at Portland has a 30-mile mountain biking park from what I could see. I'm not sure, I'm just wondering if we have to reinvent. I think it's important to do that biological assessment ahead of time, but also like if we're trying to evaluate whether mountain bikes in general have, what their impacts are. Has anybody already been doing that work that we've looked into?
Yes, we've taken a serious look at the Tacoma park system. At the, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of this.
Swan Creek.
Swan Creek. Yeah, I've been communicating with the director down there of their natural areas about Swan Creek and about that development and the impacts of that development on there. And one of the things that he mentioned were these social trails in particular that they were concerned about. We've also looked at the county parks at Dupie. We're continuing to do some research to try and develop these evaluation criteria based on what we know. Those conversations don't have as much influence on the design this time around being a pilot project as they would if it were more permanent design. And what I mean by that is that we're really looking at the physical and social impacts of this trail rather than trying to come up with the absolute best design. And I think that's something that we're considering here, and simply because of the impacts. We don't know what the impacts are going to be, and we don't want to create a massive project out here without knowing what the impacts of a simple trail might be. So that's been the reason behind the single loop trail from a parks perspective.
So I had a question that relates, it's on this, just this question of natural areas designation and changing it. Is the proposed changing coming about because of pressure for more mountain bike trails and other natural areas? Are we faced with potentially there being no natural areas just left alone versus, is there that intense pressure going on within the city for that change now?
I think that there's from the administrative perspective, because of the density issues out here, I think we're interested in protecting forests as well as allowing some uses in forests with very strong set of criteria about what those uses might be. That's all starting to develop out of this green space policy, the answer to that question. So at a preliminary stage, I don't know what that will be, what level of activity that will mean. There's a public process we're going to have to go through, and we don't know yet.
Yeah, we've written a letter to you, I guess, saying we want to be involved in that process.
Absolutely, yeah.
Representing the urban forestry interest.
And on that note, we're going to close this discussion. Thank you all for your presentation. We've heard the opportunity to amend our letter. And I'm really looking forward to our site visit so that we can look at it a little bit more closely since almost all of us haven't been on site.
They
I
didn't
will
have
be
a chance
reaching out
to
to
do
the
their last
different
time.
parties to see who will be able to attend. There was concern about being able to get there early enough to have enough daylight. So I'm going to be reaching out to commissioners, to proponents, and people that have concerns about it, and also parks. So we can have a tour where all the different perspectives are represented.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So the next element on our agenda is the 2015 work plan.